think that the bad things are always the devil. Well, let me tell you something, that just like Job, God allowed Job to be touched and tempted by the devil.
Amen.
But the devil could only do what God allowed, because the devil does not have authority over God.
Amen.
The devil does not have power over God.
Amen.
The devil does not have his way and free reign over God, but he has to get leeway from God. So I need some of y'all to remember in your fears that God is still in control.
Amen.
That although I fear, God is still in control, because no weapon formed against me can the devil prosper, because God is still in control. So no weapon can prosper against me. And if it prosper, God already has a plan, because God already knows the path of my life. But there's a famine in the time of Jacob and his sons, and specifically with Joseph. We see where Joseph has gone from wearing the favorite coat of his father to being his father's favorite. Then we see where he's gone from being thrown in the pit. And then we see where he's gone to Potiphar's house, where he's been successful. And we see where he's been in power and he's run everything in Potiphar's house. And we see where he was second in charge, and the only person over him was Potiphar. Only Joseph could make the command other than Potiphar. So Joseph had victory over his own life, and he was not even an Egyptian. But then they told a lie on Joseph, which landed him back down in the prison. But again, God elevated him, because Pharaoh realized that Joseph was favored by God, and that Joseph had a word regarding the famine was to come. I can imagine that Pharaoh went and looked everywhere but couldn't get an answer. I can imagine he called on the priest, but he couldn't get an answer. He called on the prophets, but he couldn't get an answer. He called on the musicians, but he couldn't get an answer. He called on the soothsayers, but he couldn't get an answer. He called on the seers, but he couldn't get an answer, because the answer had to come from one that had the favor of God in his life. So he called on Joseph, and Joseph had the answer, and therefore he became favored. During this time of trial, he became second in authority and had favor even in the midst of the famine. He had favor. Joseph had the answer to where all the toilet paper is. Joseph knew where Amazon was hiding it at. Amen. Joseph knew where all the people came from that all of a sudden eating loaves of bread. Loaves of bread. But even in the pit and the prison, one of the things that Joseph learned to do, and if you don't catch anything else, catch this. I got two things I want you to catch. Two things. Catch this one. Even in the pit and in the prison, just as in the palace, Joseph learned to balance himself. He learned to balance himself. He looked at himself in the pit, and Joseph began singing in the pit. So he learned how to balance himself in the pit. See, look at Joseph as he's still holding on to God's unchanging hand, because he learned to balance himself in the pit and in the midst of chaos. Somebody say, balance yourself. See, we may be going through a bad period right now, but you've got to learn to balance yourself. You've got to learn to sing a new song. You've got to learn to have a song in your heart and a prayer on your lips that says, I know somehow, I know some way that we're going to make it. You've got to have a song in your heart. You've got to have a prayer that says, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Let your will be done on this earth as it is in heaven. You've got to balance yourself. And don't worry about Mr. Trump's will. But God, what is your will for my life? God, what is your will for my life and my children's life? God, here am I, and I'm standing in the need of prayer. Here am I, and I'm standing in the need of a blessing. Here am I, and I'm standing in the need of a word. This is a time to be cautious and to be diligent in our practices. It is a time to be more concerned about our hygiene and about the hygiene of others. It is a time to do these things. But people who've been through hell can tell you how to get out of hell. Amen? See, Joseph had been through hell. So Joseph could tell you how to get out of hell. That's why he told them that all you have to do is whenever you get a little bit, put some back. So therefore, in the time of famine, you'll have a little bit. He could tell them how to survive through the famine, that if you trade me a little of this, I'll trade you a little of that, and then you'll survive